I want, I'm going to get! Whatever I want, I have to get!
Sean John Combs, also known by a stage name Diddy, was at the height of his career in 1999. He was a major figure in the music industry, leading Bad Boy Entertainment, a label that had launched stars like the Notorious B.I.G., Faith Evans, and Maze. Combs had built a successful career in music, fashion, and entertainment, but in 1999, he was involved in a violent altercation that severely damaged his public image. The incident occurred after the release of the music video for Nas's song, Hate Me Now. The video included a scene depicting Nas and Combs on crosses, wearing crowns of thorns, a controversial idea that originated from Combs himself. Sony, Nas's label, had spent $14,000 to accommodate Combs' vision and include the crucifixion imagery. However, as the release date approached, Combs became increasingly uneasy about the potential backlash from the scene, especially after consulting with his mother and pastor. On April 11, 1999, he called Steve Stoute, then an executive at Interscope Records and Nas's manager, and requested the removal of the crucifixion scene. By that point, however, the video had already been finalized and sent to MTV for airing, and Stoute said it was too late to make changes. The video premiered on MTV on April 15, 1999, with the crucifixion scene intact. Following its broadcast, Combs was reportedly furious. According to Stoute, Combs called him shortly after the airing, screaming into the phone before hanging up. Moments later, a senior executive at Bad Boy Entertainment called Stoute and informed him that Combs was on his way to Universal Music Group's Manhattan office, where Stoute worked. The executive warned Stoute, saying Combs was very angry. Combs arrived at the office with 2 bodyguards, and security footage later showed the trio entering the 6th floor of the building. Combs immediately went to Stoute's office and, without saying anything, punched him in the face. Stoute recalled that Combs then grabbed the phone and began hitting him in the head with it. Stoute fell to the floor and Combs, along with his bodyguards, continued to assault him, kicking him, throwing a chair and overturning his desk. One of the bodyguards even blocked the door to prevent anyone from intervening or Stoute from escaping. After the attack, Combs and his associates left the office as if nothing had happened. Stoute's injuries from the attack were significant. He was taken to the hospital with a swollen jaw, head trauma, and an arm injury that left him unable to move it. Reflecting on the incident, Stoute described it as a traumatic experience that left him feeling embarrassed, scared, and angry. He emphasized that he believed it was an attempt on his life and stated, "The only reason I'm not dead is because they missed." The day after the attack, on April 16th, Combs turned himself into the police and was charged with felony assault and criminal mischief, serious charges that carried the potential for up to 7 years in prison if convicted. One of his bodyguards, Paul Offord, also surrendered, while the third accomplice remained at large. Combs was released on $15,000 bail pending the trial, which drew significant media attention due to the high profile of the individuals involved. The incident shocked the music industry, where executives and artists were taken aback by Combs' actions. It was unprecedented for such a high-profile figure to enter a rival executive's office and commit an act of violence during business hours. Stoute later remarked that if such behavior was allowed to go unpunished, it would effectively encourage extortion in the music industry, setting a dangerous precedent for others. He argued that if someone could walk into the headquarters of a major record company and physically assault an executive without facing significant consequences, it would open the door for criminal behavior in the business. Combs' legal team worked hard to minimize the consequences of the altercation. Ultimately, they reached a settlement with Stoute, who agreed to drop the charges in exchange for $500,000. With the charges reduced from felony assault to harassment, Combs managed to avoid serious legal repercussions. He was sentenced to just 1 day of anger management classes. In his public statement following the settlement, Combs expressed his desire to move on, stating, "I'm glad to get this whole incident behind me. It's now time for me to concentrate on my album and give back to my fans." Despite the settlement, the incident left a mark on Combs' career and reputation. While he continued to achieve commercial success afterward, The attack on Stoute raised questions about his character and judgment. Stoute, meanwhile, experienced both physical and emotional repercussions from the attack. He spoke of ongoing fears for his safety, and he was provided with 24-hour security by Seagram, the parent company of Interscope Records. Stoute admitted that the incident made him consider leaving the music business altogether, but the support of his company ultimately convinced him to stay, even though he remained apprehensive about returning to the office and resuming normal activities. The altercation also prompted a broader discussion within the music industry about the power dynamics at play and the behavior that was tolerated from high-profile figures. Many questioned the culture of the industry that allowed Combs to escape with what some saw as a slap on the wrist. The fact that he only received a single day of anger management classes, despite the severity of the assault, was viewed by some as indicative of the privileges afforded to celebrities and powerful executives. Following the incident, security at Interscope's offices was significantly increased, with guards stationed in the hallways and restricted access to certain areas, underscoring the impact of the attack on the company's internal operations. This incident was not the first time that Combs faced legal issues. In 1991, Combs had been involved in organizing a charity basketball game at City College in New York, which ended in tragedy. The event was massively oversold, and the resulting stampede left 9 people dead. Combs and rapper Heavy D, who co-organized the event, were found negligent in a civil case related to the incident. These earlier legal troubles, coupled with the attack on Stoute, painted a picture of a man whose ambition and drive sometimes led to reckless and dangerous decisions that had real consequences for those around him. Despite these setbacks, Combs managed to maintain his status as a leading figure in hip-hop. His business ventures, including his clothing line and ongoing music projects, continued to thrive, and his public persona largely remained intact. Over the years, he would reinvent himself multiple times, adopting new monikers such as P. Diddy and later simply Diddy. Yet, for those familiar with the altercation involving Steve Stoute, there was always an undercurrent of awareness regarding Combs' more volatile and unpredictable side. In the end, the incident between Sean Combs and Steve Stoute was not just a moment of celebrity violence. It highlighted significant issues within the entertainment industry regarding power, influence, and accountability. It served as an example of how unchecked authority could lead to harmful actions and emphasized the need for accountability, regardless of one's fame or status. The choices made by Combs in moments of anger had lasting repercussions, not only for his public image, but also for the individuals directly affected by his actions and the industry as a whole. Thank you for watching CNC. Please like and subscribe for more videos.